In today's video, we'll be going over the best suggestions in Dead Rails. These can range from things like reworks to entirely new buildings, so if you do enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And yes, these are just suggestions, and they can all be found in the official Discord if you'd like to see them for yourself. Sometimes, really good suggestions may be used as inspiration for a future update, so who knows, one of these could be in an upcoming update. Anyways, let's get straight into it. I'll only be going over the best of the best suggestions, so no dumb stuff. Here we have our first suggestion made by Leo, and he asks for female werewolves. Thanks to Leo for that. Next up, we have a 2-in-1 suggestion by Sirish, and both of these are new classes. For the first one, we have the Bounty Hunter, who can collect bounties, reload faster, and deal more damage to outlaws. Overall, a pretty great suggestion, and I feel like this could actually be something inside the game, so I'll give it a 9 out of 10. Also, I'll be rating most of these suggestions. For the second class, we have the Horseman, who can tame horses easily, heal horses, and can ride horses faster, plus some other stuff. Overall, I don't know anyone who would actually use this, but one thing I will say, the healing horses part should be its own thing in my opinion. Like, there should be a horse healing mechanic in the game. But overall, I'll give this one a 4 out of 10. For our next suggestion, we have one made by Chomik with over 200 reactions, so it must be pretty good. It's another class, the Cavalier class, which will come equipped with a sword, armor, and some decent buffs, like more damage with the Cavalier sword, faster horse riding, being able to hit multiple enemies, and more. Overall, this is another pretty great suggestion. It's a class that's decently cheap with good buffs, and some downsides to balance it. I don't think this would be used too much though, so I'll give it a 7. The next suggestion we have is by Crying Bird with over 600 reactions, and he suggests a vampire cloak, which will pretty much block any sunlight from hitting you, makes you less detectable, and faster at night. It can be found inside the castle, and I'm guessing it can be picked up by any class, and not just vampires. It does come with some downsides, like spawning stronger vampires, but also spawning a special boss at the end of the game. This boss would be Dracula, and he would pretty much be a stronger vampire that can summon bats, vampires, and also steal health. Overall, this is a pretty thought-out idea, and would fit into the game pretty well. I think the cloak would be a bit overpowered for vampires, since the sunlight damaging them is like the only downside the vampire class has. So if you take that away, it would be broken. I think if they nerfed the vampire class a bit, this cloak would fit into the game perfectly, along with the boss. So I'll give it a 9. Next, we have a suggestion by Tavish, and he asks for a chicken jump. The next suggestion is by Depression, and judging by the name, you can probably guess what this will be already. If you guessed a graveyard, then you would be right. This would be a new POI that has a chance to spawn behind churches, and you can dig up graves for loot. There would be skeletons, along with a new boss, and that boss can drop a new weapon, which is the scythe. Once again, this is a really good suggestion and would fit into the game pretty well. The only thing I will say is that I don't think the scythe would really fit in with everything else in the game as a weapon. So, for that, I'll give it an 8. Next up, we have a suggestion by Some Guy, and he suggests a new cow mob to be added. These cows will act like horses and will travel in herds, but won't run away when a player is near. He also added that bandits could be herding them, which will add a small challenge if you would like to get near these cows. Obviously, you would be able to milk the cows, which would add a way to actually get milk. On top of this, he also added a small change to the milkman class, where you get an extra 2 empty glass bottles in addition to the milk bottle you start with. Overall, this is an amazing suggestion, since not only does it add a new animal that would fit right in the game, but it also adds an actual way to get milk, which is nice. So far, this has probably been my favorite suggestion, since it's something the devs would and probably should add into the actual game, so I'll give this one a 10. We still have a lot more to go through, so I'll kind of speed through these next few ones. This one by Cool Man suggests a new feature to tell the time by being able to equip one of the watches. This is cool because it gives the silver and gold watches an actual use, and being able to tell what time of day it is wherever you're at is actually pretty useful. So I'll give this one a 7. The next suggestion is from Mr. Confused, who wants to add survivors, which will be friendly NPCs that spawn in different areas and can help in fights. He also includes different survivor types that you can check out. Personally, I am not that big of a fan of this idea. I think it would make the game too easy and take away from the lonely desert atmosphere that makes the game kinda cool. So I'd rate this one a 6. It's not a bad suggestion though, and I wouldn't be upset if it got added. Scythe suggests adding more train honk noises. I love this suggestion because it adds so much to the game, and personally I've been wanting more train honk noises for a while, so I'll give this one a 10. Next, we have one from Truth, and he suggests adding a prestige system. This one is pretty simple. After completing a certain number of challenges or getting a certain number of wins, you'll be able to prestige and get different rewards. This is a simple, yet great suggestion, and personally, I think this should already be in the game, so I'll give it a 9. Also, I realize I'm rating all of these really high, so before you say anything, just understand that I picked these suggestions because I liked them. So me rating them is just to make the video a bit more interesting. Next up, we have a suggestion by Elysium, and this is a long one, so get ready. He suggests adding Outlaw bases, which would be a new structure that spawns around the 30 to 70 kilometer area. It would have tons of loot inside, but it would also be guarded by a bunch of outlaws, obviously. And these can include armored ones that ride horses and more. This place would also include a new boss, Blackbeard. I'm not sure why they would name a cowboy after a famous pirate, but whatever. I'd recommend reading through the rest, since it's actually a really cool idea. I honestly love this suggestion, since it adds more to the outlaws and gives them a bit of lore. Plus, adding a new structure is always cool. I'm not sure how they would add a boss, especially one that doesn't even wield a gun unless they make him move really fast. But either way, it would be a really nice addition to the game. So far, this is my new favorite suggestion, so I'll give this one a 10. For our last suggestion, we have one by Cheeky Boy, and he suggests adding a new structure, a bridge. This would be the same as the bridge at the end of the game, but you wouldn't have to turn a level to lower it. Instead, whenever you go across it, there would be a chance of it being exploded by outlaws, and you would have to go through an underground tunnel system to get out. At least, that's how I pictured it. The guy who wrote this sounds like a robot, so it's kinda hard to understand. But overall, it's not a bad idea. I'm not sure how they would implement this into the game at all, but it's definitely not bad. I would say it's a pretty unrealistic idea. I doubt the devs would add something like this to the game. But who knows? I could be wrong. Anyways, I'll give this one a 6. So yeah, that's all for today's video. I know it was a bit different from what I usually post, but if you enjoyed or want more of this type of content, then leave a like and subscribe. And if you have some ideas for future Dead Rail updates, then leave them down in the comments below. Anyways, see ya.